Well, thank you, Renee. Thank you all. It's great to be here with you this evening. When we initially got the invitation for this year's event, it was proposed that if we went under our time limit, that we would get to designate a charity to receive money. I was all in. I was ready to come up here, say hello, goodbye, and get off the stage. Somebody objected to that. And after listening to Gerald and Derek, we now know who. And of course, in a move nobody saw coming, the governor shows up to speak and hits the door when it's time to listen. I do want to say a few words about my colleague, Derek Graham. First of all, Derek, I'm not going to call you a tax and spend Democrat. Let's face it, we don't give you the key to the pen to the checkbook. But Derek, thank you for 22 years of service to the Commonwealth. While we don't always agree on a lot of things, I've always known you to be a man of integrity and compassion, and appreciate your advocacy for your constituents in this Commonwealth. So I will miss you. As I said about Joni 2 years ago when she exited the body, the chamber will miss you. Clearly not this chamber. We've all seen your scorecard for the chamber scorecard. So. But I will miss you, Derek, and I wish you every bit of happiness in your retirement. I'm honored to be here tonight to deliver a message on behalf of the House Republican Caucus. We're at day 27. For those of you counting, that's 31 shopping days until veto period. I can't wait to see what the governor gets us this year to celebrate with. As you all know, we sent the Senate a budget last week that yet again provides a responsible approach to the funding for the state, for our state agencies and programs. Jason Petrie, Adam Bowling, Josh Bray, as well as former Vice Chair Brandon Reed, have worked with countless stakeholders to craft a spending plan that provides for our needs and positions us for a strong future. Don't worry, President Stivers. I'm fully confident that your brilliant chamber will find a way to make this spectacular document just a little bit better. In the meantime, House Bill 6 continues our commitment to priority areas like infrastructure and public safety while providing significant support for health and human services. And this budget, again, provides record funding for K-12 education. Let me be clear. No matter how many times people say it to the contrary, record funding, adjusted for inflation, record funding, more than $1.3 billion this year over what we funded last time. And Governor, you can have all the Zoom calls and press conferences you want. It does not make what you're saying the truth. The fact is, we continue to provide significant resources for school employee raises, and we do so in a manner that allows local districts to set their own priorities. House Bill 6 also includes $5 billion to fund pensions, far more than we are legally required or is actuarially required, but nonetheless necessary because of the failures of previous governors and legislatures. We also sent the Senate House Bill 1. This legislation taps existing state resources to make $1.8 billion in one-time investments in infrastructure, economic development, and additional pension contributions. Let me stress that we will only make these one-time investments with one-time money. We've made savings a priority, and we now have an opportunity to make significant one-time investments that will lead to generational change. We focused on our needs, and we know that there are plenty of wants. We have a $4.5 billion reserve, and I feel like over the last 60 days I have met with 4.5 billion people that have 4.5 billion different ways that we can spend that $4.5 billion reserve. And we could spend more, obviously, but we will never spend as much as some people want us to spend. The critical part is these people that are critical of us not spending more do not understand that we cannot spend our way out of the challenges that our state faces. In reality, it is our job to keep government focused on its mission, and let those of you here in this audience who create jobs and grow businesses and grow this economy do what you all do best while we stay out of your way. Since being given the majority in 2016, we have consistently adopted policies aimed at growing our economy and creating opportunities across the Commonwealth. We've modernized our state tax code. We've retooled unemployment insurance. We've eliminated right to work. We've restructured workers' comp. We've reformed regulations. We've reined in government overreach, and we've invested billions of dollars in economic development tools across this Commonwealth. And we've done this while passing a plan to eliminate our individual income tax. This year, Kentuckians will keep $1.2 billion more of their hard-earned money in their pockets as a result of House Bill 8. That is the kind of public policy that is transformational for this state. This General Assembly has also amassed the largest budget reserve in the history of our state, positioning us to be better prepared for both future challenges and future opportunities. We've delivered broadband and replaced miles of aging water infrastructure across the state. This legislature has invested in our universities, community colleges, technical schools, and vocational education. A university president was in my office just yesterday and made the observation that this budget proposal is the best for higher education in a generation. We've also addressed the biggest financial crisis that our state has seen since honest dictate absconded with the state treasury, and that is our pensions. Over $20 billion and major reforms in the last 7 years. Now, of course, we've heard, or you all have heard, a great deal about these things from the governor. And he spent the entire campaign last year publicly endorsing every bill that he has either vetoed, sued us over, or patently disregarded it. It's good to know he's finally caught up. All this time I thought it was the Senate that was slow to catch on to things. Just kidding. Robert and his team down in the Senate are great partners in helping us make Kentucky a better place. You know, everyone in this room knows that we have more work to do. And looking ahead, we also know that crime impacts economic development. That's why we approved House Bill 5, legislation led by Jared Bauman that will make law-abiding Kentuckians safer. We remain focused on increasing access to health care. This includes Kim Mosier's legislation aimed at improving maternal health. And of course, we must continue identifying barriers to the workforce. Under the leadership of Samara Heverin, we created the Employer Child Care Assistance Partnership. In this session, we moved legislation that would allow employers to voluntarily offer paid family leave insurance. It also means taking courageous steps to tackle public assistance reform. Under the leadership of Speaker Pro Tem David Meade and the assistance of Representative Jonathan Dixon, we've made great strides in addressing the benefits cliff. And obviously, we will remain focused on strengthening education in Kentucky. Tomorrow's workforce is sitting in today's classrooms, and we are obligated to do more to make sure that they are prepared. Over the past 7 years, we have provided historic funding and addressed literacy, student discipline, and the teacher shortage. And we know that there are many success stories of our existing systems. You cannot ignore the fact that more than half of our students do not read at grade level. You cannot ignore that less than half are proficient in math. This session, we will consider House Bill 2, sponsored by Suzanne Miles. Legislation that allows you and other Kentuckians to clarify that we have the authority to take the necessary steps to ensure that every child has an opportunity to reach their potential regardless of where they live or how much money their parents have. The 130-year-old Constitution was created at a time when public education meant a one-room schoolhouse, no IEPs, and a schedule that prioritized farm work. A vote for this constitutional amendment is not a vote against public education. It is a vote for the very kids that they serve. Do better, Governor. Stop lying to the people of Kentucky. You know that we have provided more resources than ever. Stop being a mouthpiece for the KEA and stand up for Kentucky kids. In closing, thank you all. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to prosperity in our state. Your dedication, innovation, and entrepreneurial spirit are a big part of what makes Kentucky a better place. Together, let's continue to build on the accomplishments that we have made and unlock the full potential of our great Commonwealth. Thank you all.